Tesla just dropped a bombshell at their 2025 shareholders meeting. After years of silence, Elon Musk announced the Tesla Semi is finally entering mass production in 2026 alongside Optimus and the Cybercab. But here's the kicker. The new Semi isn't just the prototype we saw back in 2017. It's been completely redesigned with autonomous driving baked in from day one, a chassis overhaul, and a price drop that could flip the entire trucking industry upside down. So today I'm walking you through everything from the early prototypes to the battery upgrades to the global rollout, and whether this truck can actually deliver on Musk's wildest promises. Can Tesla really replace diesel trucks? The long silent years? Rewind to November 2017. Elon Musk rolls out the Tesla Semi at a flashy event in Hawthorne, California. It looked like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Center driver's seat, massive touchscreens, zero emissions. He promised a base model for 150 grand with 300 miles of range and a long-range version for 180 grand with 500 miles. Oh, and the Founder Series for anyone willing to drop 200,000 upfront. The crowd went wild. Pre-orders flooded in. Everyone thought production would start in 2019. Spoiler alert, it didn't. For the next few years, the Semi basically vanished. Musk barely mentioned it in earnings calls. No production line, no new prototypes, just silence. Why? Tesla was drowning in Model 3 production hell, then came the Model Y ramp, then gigafactories in China and Germany. The Semi got pushed to the back burner, but that wasn't the only reason. The truck wasn't ready. Tesla needed a battery breakthrough. They needed economies of scale. And most importantly, they needed full self-driving hardware capable of handling an 80,000-pound vehicle at highway speeds. Without those pieces, the Semi was just an expensive concept. So Tesla waited, and quietly, behind the scenes, they kept testing. PepsiCo got a handful of prototype units in late 2022. Those trucks hauled Frito-Lay snacks and Pepsi products around California. The data rolled in, Tesla engineers tweaked the design, and by 2025, they finally had something ready for prime time. The wait was brutal, but it set the stage for what came next, the game-changing redesign. Fast forward to May 2025, Elon Musk stands on stage and reveals the 2026 Tesla Semi, and it's not the same truck. Sure, it looks similar at first glance, but dig deeper and you'll find a complete overhaul. The chassis got stiffer and lighter. The battery pack sits lower in the frame, dropping the center of gravity and making the truck way more stable under heavy loads. The front end got reshaped with smoother curves and a redesigned windshield. Those changes aren't just cosmetic. They dropped the drag coefficient to 0.36, which is about 30% more efficient than a diesel Semi. That means more range per charge and lower operating costs, but the biggest change? Full self-driving. The 2017 prototype couldn't do it. The new Semi can. Tesla added camera mounts on the front wheel arches, integrated radar, and a supercomputer just like the Cybercab. Thermal management keeps the chips cool during long hauls. Over-the-air updates keep the software current. This isn't an afterthought. Tesla designed the truck from the ground up for autonomous driving. Now let's be clear, the Semi won't drive itself unsupervised yet. Tesla still labels it as supervised FSD, but the hardware is ready. Once the software catches up and regulators approve it, this truck could run coast to coast with minimal human input. That's the game changer. The US faces a massive driver shortage. Over 80,000 open positions as of 2024. Autonomous trucks could fill that gap. And Tesla just positioned itself to lead the charge. Oh, and remember those sleek headlights? They're lifted straight from the Model Y parts bin. Same with the door handles and interior switchgear. Reusing components slashes production costs. That's how Tesla plans to hit those lower price points without sacrificing margins. It's all about vertical integration and smart design. The battery breakthrough. Let's talk batteries. The original Semi concept relied on older cell chemistry, but the 2026 version uses Tesla's 4,680 cells produced at Giga Nevada. These aren't just bigger. They're about 7% more efficient than the previous generation. That might not sound like much, but when you're hauling freight cross-country, every percentage point matters. The long-range Semi packs an estimated 850 kilowatt-hour battery. That delivers 500 miles of range at highway speeds while pulling 82,000 pounds. The energy consumption? Around 1.51 kilowatt hours per mile. Compare that to earlier prototypes that couldn't crack 1.6. It's a subtle but critical improvement. The standard range version drops to a 500 kilowatt-hour pack and cuts the range to about 300 miles. Perfect for regional routes. Lower upfront cost, lighter weight, less charging downtime. Both versions support Megacharger stations pumping out 1.2 megawatts. Plug in for 30 minutes and you'll recover about 70% of your range. That's enough to cover another 350 miles on the long-range model. Do the math. A driver grabs lunch, the truck charges, and you're back on the road. No more hour-long diesel fill-ups. But here's the kicker. Tesla didn't just improve the cells, they redesigned the entire pack architecture. The modules sit flat along the floor between the axles. That keeps the weight low and centered. It also protects the batteries in a crash. The frame absorbs impact before anything reaches the cells. Plus, the new design simplifies manufacturing. Tesla can assemble packs faster with fewer quality issues. That's crucial when you're trying to crank out tens of thousands of trucks per year. And speaking of production, Tesla has been stockpiling these batteries. Reports from Giga Nevada show delivery trucks hauling battery packs from the Nevada factory to Fremont. Over 20,000 packs moved in recent months. That's not just for semis, but it proves the supply chain is ramping. Tesla isn't waiting around, they're building inventory and tooling up for a massive production push. The price war mystery. Here's where things get murky. Back in 2017, Musk promised the Semi would start at 150 grand. But when PepsiCo took delivery in 2022, reports claimed they paid closer to 250,000 per truck. Some whispers even suggest over 400 grand for early units. That's a massive gap. So what's the real price? Tesla won't say. Officially, they've kept pricing under wraps. And that's intentional. Dan Priestley, the Semi program lead, confirmed that Tesla is only producing the day cab version right now. About 100 units built total. No price hikes, no new versions. Just 250 grand per truck. But once mass production kicks in, that number should drop. Industry analysts predict the 2026 Semi will land somewhere between $150,000 and $190,000. Close to the original target, but still a bit higher. Why the secrecy? Simple. Competition. If Tesla announces a price too early, rivals like Volvo, Nikola, Freightliner, and Peterbilt can adjust their strategies. They'll undercut the Semi or bundle services to steal market share. By staying quiet, Tesla keeps competitors guessing. It's classic Musk. Generate hype, build demand. Then reveal the price when you're ready to flood the market. But there's another angle. Tesla wants to maintain premium positioning. Even at 250 grand, the Semi saves operators a fortune on fuel and maintenance. Diesel trucks cost about $2 per mile to run. The Semi, less than $1. Over 5 years, that's hundreds of thousands in savings. So even if the upfront cost is double, the total cost of ownership is lower. Tesla knows this. Fleet managers know this. The price almost doesn't matter if the savings are real. Still, secrecy has a downside. It breeds uncertainty. Small trucking companies can't budget without a firm number. Investors can't model revenue projections, and competitors use the lack of transparency to attack Tesla's credibility. But Musk seems willing to take that hit in exchange for strategic flexibility. We'll probably see the official price drop once the new Giga Nevada Semi factory is online and units start rolling out. Until then, it's anyone's guess. The China copy surprise? Now here's a plot twist nobody saw coming. While Tesla dragged its feet on Semi production, China went ahead and built its own version. Meet the Windrose EV truck. And it's not just similar to the Tesla Semi, it's an 80% copy. Same aerodynamic profile, same center-mounted driver's seat, same futuristic vibe. The differences? Windrose swapped the headlights and ditched the massive side mirrors. That's about it. Under the skin, Windrose claims 380 miles of range, an 800-volt fast charging system, and level 4 autonomous driving. They even tout a 729 kilowatt-hour battery that can add 248 miles of range in just 30 minutes using a BorgWarner 960 kilowatt charger. That's faster than Tesla's Megacharger, on paper anyway. Windrose tested the truck in brutal conditions. Temperatures from -43 to +48 degrees Celsius, altitudes from sea level to nearly 5,000 meters, hill climbs, emergency braking, regenerative systems, the works. And according to their press releases, it passed with flying colors. So did China just beat Tesla at its own game? Not quite. Copying the design is easy. Scaling production is hard. Building a reliable charging network is harder. And achieving regulatory approval for autonomous trucks? That's the hardest part. Tesla spent years refining FSD in millions of consumer vehicles. Windrose doesn't have that data. They're starting from scratch. Plus, the Windrose truck is optimized for the Chinese market. Shorter routes, different regulations, local logistics networks. It's not designed to compete in North America or Europe. At least, not yet. But the fact that China could reverse engineer the Semi so quickly should worry Tesla. It proves the design isn't untouchable. And if Windrose can do it, other manufacturers will follow. Tesla's only moat is execution. They need to ramp production fast, lock in fleet customers, and deploy FSD before competitors catch up. The clock is ticking. China doesn't wait around. And neither should Tesla. The global rollout plan. Alright, so how does Tesla plan to take the Semi global? The strategy is pretty straightforward. Start in North America. Perfect the design. Scale production. Then expand internationally. Phase 1 launches in 2026 at the new Giga Nevada semi-factory. Tesla aims to hit 50,000 units per year once the line is fully operational. That's ambitious. But if anyone can pull it off, it's Tesla. They've ramped production on every other model faster than analysts predicted. Phase 2 targets Europe. But Tesla isn't just shipping US trucks overseas. They're adapting the design. Dan Priestley unveiled the European development platform at the IAA Transportation exhibit in Hanover, Germany. The changes are significant. Independent front suspension replaces the original setup. This isn't just for comfort. European regulations demand it. The new suspension also improves regenerative braking efficiency, squeezing more range out of every charge. Then there's the sleeper cab redesign. European drivers spend longer stretches on the road than their American counterparts. EU regulations mandate rest periods and welfare standards that differ from US rules. So Tesla rebuilt the cabin to add a sleeper berth without wrecking the truck's aerodynamics. The driver's seat will likely shift to the left side to match conventional European trucks. That center-mounted seat might look cool, but it's impractical for long-haul drivers who need space to move around. Beyond hardware, Tesla is rolling out Megacharger stations along major European freight corridors. Germany, France, the Netherlands, Spain. These aren't just random locations. Tesla mapped the busiest routes and placed chargers where trucks naturally stop for breaks. That's Logistics 101. Make charging seamless and drivers won't resist the switch from diesel. Phase 3 focuses on Asia, especially China and Japan. But here's where things get tricky. China has its own EV truck ecosystem. Windrose, BYD, dozens of local manufacturers. Breaking into that market means competing on price, which is tough when Chinese companies benefit from subsidies and lower labor costs. Japan presents different challenges. Narrower roads, stricter weight limits, a cultural preference for domestic brands. Tesla will need to localize the Semi even more than they did for Europe. Smaller battery packs, compact dimensions, maybe even right-hand drive configurations. It's a lot of work for a market that might not adopt as quickly as North America or Europe. Still, Asia represents massive growth potential. China alone operates millions of freight trucks. If Tesla captures even 5% of that market, it's game over for everyone else. But first, they need to prove the Semi works at scale in friendlier markets. No shortcuts, no half-baked rollouts. Just steady, calculated expansion. That's the plan anyway. Whether Tesla can execute without stumbling is the billion-dollar question. Because the competition isn't sitting still. Volvo already sells electric semis in Europe. Daimler has the e-Actros. Nikola is trying to survive. And legacy diesel manufacturers are watching closely, ready to pivot the moment electric becomes economically inevitable. Tesla has the hype. They have the tech. But do they have the discipline to go the distance? We're about to find out.